Good afternoon. The transportation meeting will come to order. Would the clerk be able to take the roll? My panel does not have anything on it. I'm here. Technology problems. Hold on a second.
MJ, can you vote her?
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome our newest member, Senator Mulcahy. Yes. She was sworn in yesterday, and we're very happy to have her. And as we mentioned last week, we are seating people rather regionally as opposed to by party or by seniority. And so we welcome you, Senator. Thank you. Thanks for being here. We welcome virtual participation in this legislative process. We believe that it helps us to make better decisions, to hear from people who might not be able to be here in person. So to ensure that the process runs as smoothly as possible, we require that virtual participants sign up at least a half an hour before the committee meeting begins. It's only possible on bills that will be heard in the full committee, which we do not have subcommittees in this committee. Participants must be Virginians or recognized subject matter experts, and all participants must state who they are, the jurisdiction in which they reside, whether they're representing a group before they present their comments. They must be having their camera on and be physically present in the virtual space. And so I just wanted to make that reminder. I'd also like to remind the body that all remarks from the public and members should be directed towards the chair rather than across the room to one another. And if members have a substitute or amendments for your legislation, please mention so at the beginning of your comments so that the committee can move the adoption, which will release it on LAS for members and the public to review. We have several bills that will be re-referred, both SB 65 by Senator Durant and SB 97 by Senator Peake. Are going to be have been requested by the chair of the Courts of Justice. We'll need a vote on each of those individually. Do I have a motion?
Move to re-refer.
SB 65?
65, yeah.
And a second? All in favor? Do we have to have a recorded vote for this?
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, yes.
Are we sending them to courts? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, Madam
Courts.
Chair.
Yes. So the motion is to re-refer SB 65 to Courts of Justice. All in favor, please vote. Great.
Ayes 11, no 0.
Thank you. The next one that needs to be referred to the Courts of Justice is SB 97, Senator Peake.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor of re-referring?
Ayes 12, no 0.
Thank you so much. The next bill we have, Senator Head has SB 418, which establishes the Virginia Museum of Transportation. It needs to be heard in education and health. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All righty, let's have a vote. Okay, thank you.
Ayes 13, no 0.
Excellent. We have a handful of bills that need to go by for the day at the request of the patron. They are SB 198, Senator Diggs, regarding collector plates, and SB 516, Senator Williams-Graves, all-terrain vehicles. Do we have a motion to pass them for SB 198? There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, voice vote, aye. Aye. Any opposed? The next would be, do we have a motion to pass by for the day SB 516, Senator Williams-Graves' bill?
So moved.
All righty, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Seems that we are in good order to start our bills for the day. Senator Locke has SB 216 and has a time issue, so she has asked to go first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 216 creates a revenue-sharing license plate for Virginia's commemoration of the nation's 250th birthday. So it's the VA 250 special license plate. The VA 250 Commission, which I am the vice chair, is planning a statewide commemoration that involves all localities, all Virginians, tells all aspects of our shared history, and inspires our collective march toward a more perfect union. Following precedents established by other statewide commemorations, the license plate is exempt from requirements of a certain number of prepaid applications. There will be an annual fee of $25 to purchase the plate, of which $15 is credited to the VA 250 Special Fund and $10 is credited to DMV. DMV has the artwork and is ready to put the plate into production with the passage of this legislation. I hope it is the pleasure of the body to pass this bill.
Thank you so much. Are there any people that you brought with you who would like to speak on the bill?
Cheryl Wilson, who is the ED for Virginia 250, is here if you have any questions.
Thank you. Are there questions from the members? Hearing none, do I?
Move to report.
Second.
Thank you.
This is going to get money.
I believe this needs to go to finance. So can you give us a?
Sure, Madam Chair, move to report and re-refer to finance.
Thank you. And
This
a second?
doesn't have to go to finance. There's no fiscal impact.
All right, then just move to report.
All in favor? Let's open the vote. Oh, it has been requested by finance, Madam
They
Chair.
can have it if they want it.
So the motion has been made to report and refer to Senate Finance. If you would put the vote on. All righty.
Ayes 14, no zero.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Locke. The next person who has asked, Senator McPike has SB 246. My understanding is that he would like to have it pass by for the day, but there are some people in the audience who wish to at least express support for this bill. And I don't see Senator McPike walking in the door. There he is. Senator McPike, you're up. Yep. So he will present the bill. We will receive comments and support and against, and then I will request a motion to pass the bill by for the day so that we can continue working out the technical concerns.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, Senate Bill 246 really seeks to clean up a section of our code related to driving privilege cards, where the sequence of events are tied actually to shorter durations than you or I are used to going to renew your driver's license set on your birth date to 8 years. I've had experience with constituents coming up, and many have to go back 18 months or 2 years to renew their license. This is really about efficiency and economy of scale to make sure the system is working for everybody. You have folks with CDLs, dependent on the driver's license, having to go back every 2 years to get your driver's license. Adding and waiting to the line is, frankly, something that we all dread. And nothing disparaging against DMV. We love them. They do a great job. They do have some follow-up questions, but there may be some people that did make some trips down. So, Madam Chair, I appreciate the opportunity just to present the bill. And if there were folks in the audience to support, and they made the trip down today, knowing that we do have a little bit more work to do with DMV, and we're going to take it by for the week to do that work, I just wanted to be able to recognize them if they're here.
Thank you, Senator McPike. If you have some people in the audience who would like to just express their support or for the bill who have traveled today, we will not be hearing the entire bill, but certainly want to give them that Grace. Thank you so much. If you just say your name and where you're from and who you're representing.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. I do have a Spanish speaker, so I'll be interpreting for her.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker and all members to the committee. My name is Lenka Mendoza. Today I'm here porque quiero hablar de lo importante que ha sido para nuestra comunidad las licencias de conducir. Ha cambiado la vida de muchas personas y ha convertido nuestras carreteras mucho más seguras.
She says her name is Lenka Mendoza. She's very grateful to be here, that driving privilege cards has dramatically improved the lives of so many people in the Commonwealth, and they are very grateful for that opportunity.
El transporte en Virginia, como sabemos, muchas áreas son rurales y ahora tenemos personas que han podido sacar sus licencias de conducir sabiendo las reglas de tránsito y manejando de una manera más segura.
There are so many Virginians that live in rural areas and locations that absolutely need a vehicle in order to have transportation, and this is essential for them to be able to go ahead and get around.
Por eso, como miembros de la comunidad, estamos apoyando que se extienda por mucho más tiempo, ya que es algo que ha servido y ayuda mucho a los constituyentes de Virginia.
And because these folks have already worked so hard to go ahead and get that driving privilege card, it should just be easier to go ahead and have it for a longer length of time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And since I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and just say that on behalf of the Virginia Coalition for Immigrant Rights and our 45 member organizations, we fully support this bill.
Thank you.
If there's
afternoon, Madam
anyone
Chair.
online that would like to speak, please raise your hand.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Freddie Mejia from the Commonwealth Institute. We'd like to thank Senator McPike for bringing this bill forward, and we support the bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is John Cano with the Legal Aid Justice Center, Senior Supervising Organizer, here to support this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Kashish with New Virginia Majority, and we would like to support this bill. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much. And if there are people there, if there's someone online who wishes to speak in opposition to the bill or
Zoe
in the room.
Aquino, you may unmute and speak.
Hi, this is Zoe Aquino from Humke Center. I wanted to speak in support of the bill.
Go ahead with your testimony.
Hello? Hi.
You may go
Hi,
ahead.
this is Zoe Aquino.
Ms. Aquino, we have a policy that you need to have your screen, your camera on if you're going to do this. We're going to give you a second to turn your camera on. The bill is not being heard today. We are just really intending to offer the folks who traveled specifically here to speak on the bill today from out of town. The bill will be heard next week, but I appreciate that.
Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity to accommodate those who have traveled today, and appreciate the committee's consideration to take it by for the week.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to pass it by for the week?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of passing it by for the week, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for traveling to come and tell us your story, and appreciate you all. Next on the agenda, we have, looks like Senator Obenshain is not in the room. Senator Reeves, is Senator Reeves in the audience? SB 6 or SB 349?
Let's start with that. Madam Chair, if we could start with SB 6, that'd be fantastic.
All righty. Go ahead, sir.
Madam Chair, unfortunately, I have to bring this bill back for a third try. Madam Chair, just for the new senators on the dais, this bill that I'm presenting to the committee today has passed this chamber 40-0 for 2 years in a row. It's a pretty important bill for a lot of veterans, but a lot of folks who find themselves cross with our legal system, but they want to get better. So what this bill does is, let me tell you what current law does, and then I'm going to tell you what this bill does. Under current law, if an individual has a driver's license in the Commonwealth of Virginia, they can't appeal for a reinstatement of their license until a 3-year period has passed from the date of their last conviction. So what this bill does says, if you have gone into a veterans treatment court, a specialty treatment court, such as drug court or mental health, it allows them the opportunity at the completion of that specific docket or court, the opportunity to be able to get themselves to and from work. And it's pretty important. And I have a witness that we can hear from as soon as I kind of give you the rest of my argument. But we have a gentleman that is a combat veteran, suffered wounds, physical wounds, mental wounds in combat, found himself drinking to solve his problems. He was locked up, which he should have been, for drinking driving under the influence. But in the interim, he got lucky to get into the Veterans Treatment Court in Spotsylvania County. He completed 18 months of a very rigorous program, and I will tell you, Madam Chairman, I probably couldn't do the program. And because the way the statute is designed, and when we brought the bill, it would die in the House due to a certain individual who's no longer part of this General Assembly. I'll just leave it at that, Madam Chair. And so in order for this individual to be able to put his pieces of his life back together, which I'm proud to say, under mentorship. I have that gentleman's mentor here. I didn't want to pull the gentleman that went through the docket here today, but I can get him here if you really want to talk to him about the merits of that program. The judge has kind of circumvented within his authority the ability to keep him in the program, because the minute he graduates the program under current law, he loses his ability to drive, which means he loses his ability to feed his family, feed them, take care of them, and everything else. And this is a gentleman who I think earns our respect because he's become a model citizen, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So this basically allows the judge the ability, once they do that, an individual goes through that program, to file to be able to receive a restricted license, not a full license, a restricted license. And for those who aren't attorneys, a restrictive license is very restrictive. To and from work, you have to, it's very monitored. So I think that's very reasonable. And Madam Chair, if you would, I have the Honorable Daniel Cortez, a combat Vietnam veteran, Marine, who is a mentor to many veterans in the Veterans Treatment Docket from my area. And if you would hear him out, I would appreciate it, Madam Chairman.
I'd be happy to do that. I will offer 5 minutes total for each side for opposing and supporting. So if you'd like to go right ahead, happy to hear from you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the committee, the Honorable Bryce Reeves, and my salutations and respect to all veterans in the room, this distinguished gentleman, Senator McGuire, who has served honorably, as all other veterans that are here that I have not mentioned your name, I thank you for your service. I am Daniel Cortez. I'm the chairman of the National Vet Court Alliance. I am from Stafford, Virginia. I am a Vietnam veteran that was wounded in battle, and I have suffered much of the trauma that a lot of these veterans are going through today, and that I mentor in the one of 500 veterans treatment courts and dockets in America. Thanks to individuals like the distinguished gentleman to my left, the Veterans Treatment Court Coordination Act of 2019 was passed, and we lobbied extensively for over a year to give these veterans a second chance. And I have lived through those second chances. I'm walking in some of their shoes because of individuals like the gentlemen that are sitting before me and ladies that are sitting before me that have had compassion for our veterans. The Senator is exactly correct. It's an 18-month court supervised program and specialty dockets. There are over 500 in the United States. And once the graduates' final disposition, the court goes to the DMV showing their successful completion, then triggers the DMV to revoke their license as they lose their ability to continue to drive to work. We want our veterans dockets and specialty dockets to set our graduates up for success so they can continue to be productive citizens, responsible citizens, fruitful citizens, obeying the laws of the Commonwealth and providing for their families, pay child support, taxes, and contribute to the family and the communities. Again, these individuals have graduated in an 18-month course, and they are working to provide and maintain their sobriety. And I, as a mentor, can speak to many of the successes that we have. And we need one more piece of the puzzle. We need one more piece to show our collective compassion, to stand by these veterans. And a veteran doesn't have to serve in combat. A veteran can face the dangers and trepidations of extreme training and the stresses that go with it. But when you raise up your right hand and swear against all enemies, foreign and domestic, as so many individuals have done in this room, and I want to state without equivocation that the Virginia Public Criminal Justice Association has endorsed this action, and they have a staff of 500, and Mr. Tamadre Thomas is the president of the Virginia Community Criminal Justice System, comprised of 37 local probation and pretrial agencies, has also endorsed this. We come to you in humility with requests to help our veterans help themselves. And each and one of you are benefiting from our veterans community so that we may continue to live in a free and democratic society. I salute your efforts, I thank you, and I humbly respect and ask for your respect and support to support Senator Reeves for this important piece of legislation. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you so much for that powerful testimony. Is there anyone online in support of the bill?
Madam Chair, also the Commonwealth Attorneys Association supports the bill.
Okay.
Go ahead. Jane Covington, you may unmute and speak.
And Ms. Covington, I would just remind you, you need to put your camera on if you're going to be able to do the testimony. Thank you.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Ms. Covington, you have to turn on your camera so that we can see you.
Yes.
I think she might be here for a different bill. Are you here to speak about SB 6 with Senator Reeves?
No, SB 6.
Okay, let's hold on your testimony then. Thank you so much. I see Mr. Green.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, thank you. My name is Nathan Green. I'm the Commonwealth Attorney for the City of Williamsburg and James City County. I'm here representing the Virginia Association of Commonwealth Attorneys. We do support this bill. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Excellent. And in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, Becky Bowers, I'm here with the Virginia Association of Community Services Boards, and we support the bill.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here in opposition? All righty. Hearing no opposition, do we have a motion to report?
Madam Chair.
Is there discussion before we entertain a motion? Or is there any discussion on the bill?
Thank you, Madam
Senator
Chair.
Hackworth.
I have a question for the patron. So,
Ms. Senator Reeves.
Yes, ma'am. I'm good.
So could you clarify, this is not just for veterans, this is for anyone that participates in this program?
In a specialty docket. They have to go through a specialty docket. So several years ago, we already had a drug court or
Senator
drug
Reeves,
court.
can you address
Madam
the
Chair,
chair,
my
please?
apologies.
Thank you.
My apologies. Madam Chair, Senator Hackworth, several years ago, we set up a drug treatment court. When we tried, Madam Chair, when we tried to bring a separate court, the House at that time did not want any more courts. So we struggled. We set up a docket through the Supreme Court, Madam Chair. These things are set up. So now we have not just veterans treatment dockets, we have mental health dockets. Whatever jurisdiction wants to work through the Supreme Court to set those dockets up. They're very intensive, driven, driving services to those individuals from those respective areas to which they find themselves, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Are there other questions from members of the committee? All right, we have a motion and a second on the table. If you would record your vote.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Thank you very much. Looks like your bill has been a success. You have another one before us, correct?
Madam Chair, the next bill I have before the committee is Senate Bill 349. Madam Chair, with your permission, what this bill tries to do is change
Mr. Reeves, do you have a substitute on that by chance, or some sort of amendment?
Thank you. Yes, I do. Madam Chair, I have an amendment in the nature of a substitute. If we get that before the body, that'd be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Senator Sudalan.
Madam Chair, I'd like to offer an amendment pretty early in this because I think it might determine which way we go. I would like to offer an amendment to the substitute that we just adopted on line 118. I would like to change $40 for each inspection of any other vehicle, comma, $1.40 of which I'd like to change that to $20 for each inspection of any other vehicle, 70 cents of which, and that would then keep us with our current required fee for inspections in the Commonwealth and the individual portion that goes to the state police.
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the amendment? Senator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, first I would ask if the senator, the patron in this case, could actually explain what the substitute does, because the public has not even heard an explanation at this point, and then we can discuss whether or not the senator considers this to be a friendly amendment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Senator Reeves, please
Madam
describe
Chair,
it.
Senator Rome, first, what this does, it exempts vehicles that are 2 years old, brand new, from having to go back for 2 consecutive years to get another inspection sticker. One of the problems, let me just tell you kind of part of the problems that bringing this bill forward has uncovered. Many of you, all of you, who own a car in the Commonwealth of Virginia have to go yearly to go get an inspection done. The challenge that we have with the motion that was just made is shops that have inspectors, the $20 doesn't cover their labor costs or materials at all. Because the inspection process of a motor vehicle in the Commonwealth of Virginia, my understanding, takes a minimum of 45 minutes. You can't hurry the process, but you must be at around 45 minutes with a book stack about that thick from the Virginia State Police. And so what's happened is you'll have inspection stations or inspectors, less and less of them coming because it's not profitable to shops, or you'll have inspectors that will find a questionable deficiency in your car to try to make up that difference. And so it's no longer about really safety, it's more about driving the economy. And so what I've tried to do is help those who've bought a brand new vehicle, because my original thought before the substitute was, if you buy a new car, every car manufacturer in the United States gives you 3 years or 36,000 miles. And about 36,000 miles, mechanics are going to tell you things are going to start to wear. Tires wear, brakes wear, those sort of things. But for the most part, that's covered under a dealership bumper-to-bumper warranty. So as we've matriculated to this point, I've made some agreements that we would fall back to a 2-year, 24-month inspection once every 12 months after that. The part of the process was to try to help cover that expense that a shop would have at $40. But I understand also that there are a lot of folks that raising that fee will cause them a lot of heartache. And so Madam Chair, I would, Senator Rome, I would just tell you that's what the bill does. I found out right before I walked to the dais today that the state police still have some things they'd like to discuss about the bill. I told them I'm happy to move it forward. This will have to go to finance, and then if they have further changes they'd like to see, I'm happy to try to include further changes into the bill as we get to finance.
Thank you, Mr. Senator Reeves. Are there questions from the yes, Senator Rome?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would ask the senator in this case, could the senator please restate, based on the substitute and the proposed amendment, the number of years that someone can have a vehicle before it would be subject to annual inspection under this? Or how old the vehicle needs to be?
Senator Reeves?
Madam Chair, I looked to Senator Hackworth, if I can, because he actually owns shops. So I believe he's given me the flash sign for either a curveball or two. Both.
Thank you.
So then, yeah, second question, Madam Chair.
Senator Rome.
All right, so then, Madam Chair, so then a vehicle that is 3 years or older will then be subject to annual inspections as all cars are today. Is that correct?
Madam Chair, yeah, that is correct.
Thank you. I think the senator.
Thank you. Do you have the fiscal impact if we accept the amendment? Are you aware of how much that would change the proceeds back to the state as well as to the automobile repair folks?
Madam Chair, the bill has
Inspectors.
changed pretty rapidly in the last couple of days to take a year off. So that's why I know the bill will probably need to be reviewed by finance. If they haven't asked for it, I would ask that it go to finance since I sit on finance now. So there is going to be a little bit of dollar difference from a 3-year to 2-year. And I don't have that cost of if the state police I don't know how many cars that is per year they sell, but I'm sure we can get to the dollar amount.
Thank you so much. Are there other questions? We're considering the amendment of whether or not to reduce the fee. Senator Hackworth.
Question for the patron, Madam Chair.
Senator Hackworth, go ahead.
So, Senator Reeves, if a vehicle is a new vehicle and it's sold within a year of the, if it's a new vehicle and then it's sold within a year, that vehicle would have to be inspected at that point, correct? It's just
Madam Chair, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions, or are we ready for a vote on the amendment itself?
Madam Chair,
Senator Marsden.
with regards to the 2 years, we have had two governors, both Governors Kane and Northam, who have actually proposed bills to eliminate the safety inspection because national data has shown that it was not particularly effective in terms of life, health, safety, and what have you. That was rejected by me the second time around, and. But I think for those of us who are new here, I don't think we're putting anybody at risk by having a 2-year on a brand new car. I think we're in pretty good shape there. Thank you.
To remind
Madam Chair, I would agree with Senator Marsden.
Thank you. So to remember, the amendment that is before us is simply dealing with the amount that would be charged on line 111 from $40 to $20, and then the fee going to the state would be 70 cents as opposed to $1.20.
Madam Chair, that's exactly right. We just strike the 20 strike the 40 and unstrike the 20 and strike the 140 and unstrike the 70 cents. And that takes us right back to where we are currently today.
Thank you. Senator Rome.
Madam Chair, I move the adoption of the amendment I move the adoption of the amendment to the substitute.
All righty. I think we are.
Madam Chair, can we request to go to finance?
We're not to that point yet. We're still on the amendment. I believe we already had a motion and a second to adopt it. So we were having discussion just about whether or not we were going to adopt that amendment. Let's go ahead and if we're ready, all in favor, it's a voice vote. Aye. Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Now we get to the amendment in the nature of a substitute. If there's no more discussion, I would ask for thank you. A second. Was there anyone else who wished to speak on this bill before we move forward? I don't think so. I would ask the clerk to call the roll. This is referring it to finance. All righty.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Thank you, Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Looks like you've
Members of
done.
the committee.
Done your work. Senator Perry, if you would join us. Senator Perry has SB 644. Love to hear about your bill.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. And I have an amendment to the bill.
All righty. Is there a motion to accept?
Can we get an explanation about what the amendment does?
Sure. The amendment is alleviates any concern about this is a bill that's related to gravel roads and dealing with gravel roads and how to effectuate whether or not how they are treated. The amendment alleviates any concern about who should be designing and implementing these procedures. It's in conjunction with VDOT, the Association of Counties. It just helps to clarify some language in the bill.
Madam Chair.
Senator Rome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, can the patron tell us what line numbers this would affect?
Line 29.
Great. Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Then move to adoption of the amendment.
And a second. So moved. All in favor of adopting the amendment?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Voice vote.
Awesome. Party of one.
All for no's now.
All those opposed? Okay, hearing none. Please tell us more about your bill, Senator Perry.
As I mentioned, it's a bill that helps deal with unpaved secondary highways. In my district, a decent chunk of my district is rural, and we have many unpaved or some unpaved secondary highways. I will say, prior to my going into the bill, and specifically, I have spoken with VDOT and VACO about this bill. I don't anticipate, and I don't believe there's any opposition to the bill from either one of them. This bill does allow for more flexibility for the use and administration of the Highway Construction District grant funds to VDOT districts. One of the uses of those funds is to improve unpaved roads already, and this bill just allows for more flexibility in the treatment of those roads and simultaneously allows for more flexibility by the localities in having a say in what happens with them. Funds allocated to the improvements of unpaved secondary highways have been used to pave secondary roads. Up until now, that was the only choice available, but this bill, again, provides more flexibility. In many cases, paving in places of the unpaved secondary highways is a poor choice. A better approach is to improve the unpaved service through a combination of modern materials and practices that have been researched and approved by the Federal Highway Administration and used by state highway authorities across the United States. Another nice thing, no additional funding is required for this bill. This bill just clarifies how the use of existing funds can be widened to methods that are most appropriate for each situation and gives local authorities the ability to choose what's best. As a result of this bill, a cost savings will be likely. Current maintenance practices are costly. I believe this bill will also help improve secondary roads, will increase safety. Crash data shows a lower fatality rate along gravel roads compared to paved roads. And third, again, provides local authorities with more flexibility at the local level. I'm open to any questions. I think there are also folks on virtual who would like to speak in support.
We are aware. I believe that Senator Rome has a question for you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would ask the Senator if she could just annotate, just for the public's edification on this, what the non-paving improvements would entail, just like a bullet list of it.
I'm sorry, the non-paving substances?
Yeah, basically anything that's not paving, the other improvements that would be included. Could you just annotate that for the public?
The bill itself, if you look at line 15, it says the actual amendment is such improvement may not shall consist of enhancements to such highway or highway segment other than paving, such as improved materials, drainage upgrades, or enhanced design of the highway profile. Other techniques shall be considered improvements if they increase safety, reduce maintenance costs, or enhance the historic qualities of the highway or highway segment. And so just to be more specific about it, there are a variety of substances. I don't know if I have them in here in my notes. That again have been approved by the Federal Highway Administration and state highway authorities that can be used that help reduce things like drainage and runoff and still protect the roads and allow them to be maintained and accessible for driving.
Thank you, Senator Perry. Are there people who are waiting to speak in favor or in opposition of the bill? Yes, we will have a maximum of 5 minutes total for everybody on both sides.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, James Hutza, Virginia Association of Counties, just wanted to give my appreciation to the patron for offering the amendment, as we too believe this makes the bill workable to all 95 counties in Virginia. We have no position on the bill. Thank you all.
Thank you, and I believe we have somebody online.
Jane Covington, please unmute and go ahead with your testimony. Jane Covington, please unmute and go ahead with your testimony.
Hello, my name is Jane Covington. I'm a resident of Loudoun County and I represent myself. I'm calling in to support SB 644, these unpaved secondary roads, and thank you, Senator Perry, for sponsoring this bill. I very much appreciate your common sense approach to taking care of our rural roads, increasing safety, and saving taxpayer dollars. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Covington. Thank you for waiting online with us. We appreciate you taking the time to testify. Are there any people here to speak in opposition of the bill? Hearing none, I would we do? Hearing none, I would entertain any questions by the members, and if not, would...
Move to report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And second? Okay, all in favor? Let's open the rolls.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Congratulations, Senator Perry. Thank you. Okay, Senator Obenshain, you're next.
Madam Chair, I really missed you all, so I appreciate your putting me on the docket today.
We miss you too.
For my green energy bill for the year. I'm not kidding.
Please tell us about it.
Madam Chair, members of Senate, or members of the committee, this is Senate Bill 572, dealing with school buses. Very exciting bill. Right now, the maximum width for every kind of vehicle on the road in Virginia, except for school buses, is 102 inches wide. School buses, the limit is 100 inches. We contacted the state police, and my understanding, unless there's been further research done on the issue, is they have no idea why that 100-inch limit was imposed. A broader wheelbase makes vehicles more stable. And my reason for bringing this is that there actually are manufacturers and a dealer in my district that is selling school buses that are being used in jurisdictions around Virginia, especially in Northern Virginia, that are battery school buses. And those new classes of school buses are 102 inches wide. And without this legislation, it would not be possible. And Madam Chair, I've got to look at you because some of my colleagues are staring at me in disbelief that I'm carrying this piece of legislation, but it's very important to the economics of localities around Virginia, plus the manufacturers and the dealers who are selling these school buses. So because of the lack of any compelling reason that I'm aware of to limit school bus width to 100 inches, and for the economic advantages, not to mention the wonderful environmental benefits to communities across the Commonwealth. I would hope that this committee would look favorably upon this piece of legislation.
Thank you, Senator Obenshain. It's delightful to hear you applauding the economic benefits of green energy and more energy efficiency.
Those words
so
are
proud.
Coming. And I'm looking forward to my Sierra Club rating.
Madam Chair.
Senator Hackworth?
So, question for the patron.
Go ahead, Senator.
So, Senator Obenshain, will there have to be specialized new training for school bus operators to be able to operate a vehicle that is 2 inches wider?
Senator Obenshain.
Madam Chair, I would answer the question is no. No additional or different training would be required. This is an easier bus to operate.
Thank you for the clarification. Do you have anybody here with you to?
I do.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, I'm Mark Neslin. I am the Vice President of Business Development and Strategy for Green Power Motor Company. Green Power is an OEM that produces all-electric school buses. We produce a Type D school bus that is 102 inches wide. And that is actually a bus that a gentleman will speak in a moment from Kingmore, who sells buses from the Senator's District. That is the bus that they're selling. And actually, Madam Chair, Loudoun County is very interested, as is the neighboring county of Fairfax County, to be able to pilot this bus in those under the rules of the state. We obviously have to have this law changed to be able to pilot that vehicle in those districts. I do want to mention that there was a question about training. Actually, when you put a driver behind an electric vehicle, we go through very full and meaningful training, not only with drivers, but with mechanics and with first responders who provide that training. So it's not because of 2 inches, but it's because of a different vehicle that, in fact, that training does happen for those drivers. Why does a bus be 102 inches when it's a purpose-built all-electric vehicle instead of 96 inches like the majority of Type C and Type D buses on the road? You build a purpose-built all-electric vehicle to be just that. It is an electric vehicle from the time the chassis is built until it goes on the road. It's not a truck chassis that has a body stapled on top of it. It's built so that the batteries are placed where the batteries need to be for weight distribution, for center of gravity, for safety, for the things that provide it to be a better bus. And really the first changes in buses in the last 50 years, they're more stable. That's what that width gives you, that stability. It gives you the handling ability and provides it to be a safer, more durable bus that also over the long term saves the school district money because of the fact you have less maintenance problems with that wider bus. So those might be some of the questions you may have of why is 102 different than 96. That is one of the main reasons. We appreciate your consideration of the bill, the Senator for carrying the bill, and we look forward to our work in the state through our Dietrich Kingmore in helping to see these buses on the road here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much for that testimony.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, committee members, my name is Brian Bartlett. I work with Kingmore Supply, and we are the international bus dealer for the state of Virginia. We are supporting this bill because we would like to see the width of the bus change so that we can look at other options that are more stable, can provide more capacity, which increases the amount of students we can carry and cuts down on the amount of drivers we have to have. So this just is the start of the process of being able to sell another bus in the state because we go through a pilot program with the VDOE to get that approved. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Are there questions from the
Madam Chair, for that gentleman?
Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know your patron loves coming back to this committee, and so he might only be taking it to 102 in the hopes that he can come back later to take it to 104, 106. Should we keep it at 102 today, or should we consider going higher?
Based on everything that runs in the state, much like the Senator brought up, there isn't anything else that we run in the Commonwealth of Virginia that is wider than 102. 102 is the restricted number.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that professional answer.
Thank you so much. Closing words, Senator?
Madam Chair, this is a good government bill. It reduces the number of words in the code, and it's a good green energy bill and makes good sense and is an economic development bill. So I just think this is good for everybody all around, and it's great to be with you again.
Well,
on this side of the
I
dais.
certainly appreciate that you brought this great bill to us. I live across the street from a school where all the school buses are housed in my community, and so it would be quieter and less pollution in the air in my neighborhood. I would love it if anybody else has a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to report this bill of 102 inches of bigger government heading down the road.
I hear a motion and a second. All in favor, if you would please record your vote to report this great bill. They do.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Senator French, I believe we have you up next, SB 353. Please go ahead and tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm here to present Senate Bill 353. I also have a technical amendment.
All righty.
That comes in on line 281. But insert the word but no later than 10 days from the receiving such notification from the FMCSA.
Thank you so much. So we're going to vote on that. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Go ahead and tell us more about your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill is changes to the Virginia law necessary to preserve a $5.8 million in federal grant funding. Changes to comply with the 2016 federal regulations for CDL driver training, which is already accounted for in the Virginia budget, but does not align with current Code of Virginia. Requiring each state's licensed agency to search the FMCSA's Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse to determine whether an applicant for a new CDL permit, or enhanced commercial motor vehicle credential had a drug or alcohol violation. The regulations require the state to deny the application if a violation is found. Virginia must substantially comply with these regulations by November the 18th, 2024. If not, will jeopardize over $5.8 million in money from Federal Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program. Failing to conform with federal law, keeping the old requirements are currently published in the Code of Virginia, which are not aligned with the 2022 budget amendment, will create the opportunity for confusion and would potentially lead to a situation where drivers are being misled by undergoing training that does not comply with federal requirements. Madam Chair, I really like this bill. I have my CDLs myself, and I really hope we can keep the wheels rolling on it. And it's my pleasure. I hope it would be my pleasure of this body to pass this bill.
Thank you, Senator French. Thank you for explaining it. And my understanding is we have to do this to comply with federal regulations. Is that accurate?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's correct.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there questions from the committee? Okay, anybody in support of the bill would like to speak? I know that the administration, this is an administration bill. Anyone in opposition who wants to speak on the bill? All righty, I see Dave.
Second.
All righty, we have a motion to report with amendments. All in favor? Let's hear it on your, let's put the voting.
Ayes 15, no 0.
All righty, congratulations.
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you so much. You have a
This
good
process
day.
is getting easier.
All righty, so I believe we have only committee members who have bills. Is Senator Bagby, would you like to go first? You can stay right there.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I believe the Legislative Services has an amendment.
All righty. If you all would like to read the amendment.
You want them to read the amendment, or I can just tell you?
Or you can tell us if you choose.
And after line 49, the amendment simply delays an enactment of the bill to provide the Department of Motor Vehicles the necessary time to implement it, and it moves it to effective date of July 1st, 2025.
Is there a second? Okay. All in favor of accepting the amendment, vote aye. Aye. All righty. Any opposed? None opposed? Why don't you tell us more about the bill?
Thank you, Madam
Bagby?
Chair. This bill simply clarifies the database to be searched by DMV when they are notified by an auto recycler that they are in possession of a motor vehicle that is 10 years or older to be demolished. but the recycler does not possess a certificate of title, salvage certificate, or non-repairable certificate for the vehicle. Of course, the goal is to ensure that any vehicle that comes into possession of a licensed auto recycler without those things gets the same required due diligence from the DMV, regardless of the vehicle's age. And so I think it's pretty simple that it's pushing it 10 years, and it's being is letting you know which where they should look for those for the information.
Thank you so much. Are there questions of the patron? All righty. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of the bill? Yes, Ganti.
Madam Chair, I'm Gonzalo Veda with the Virginia Independent Automobile Dealers Association, and we would like to express strong support for the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone in opposition to the bill? Okay. Any discussion by members? Hearing none, do I have a motion? All righty. Let's.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Senator Bagby. Next, Senator Suderline. You have two bills, SB 150 and SB 151. SB 151 has been asked for finance after we get through with it. You want to come to the front?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you say which one you'd like to go first? All right. Senate Bill 150 comes at the request of some of our local volunteers out my way in the Roanoke Valley, volunteer rescue squad folks. What it seeks to do is it increases from 2 to 4 the number of flashing or steady burning red or red and white combination warning light units, which the member of a fire department, volunteer fire company, or volunteer emergency medical service agency, any police chaplain may equip on their vehicle owned by them, so they can then become more visible.
Thank you. And are there questions from the committee? Yes, Senator Rome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, are there any issues regarding whether that additional lights will trigger epilepsy or any other sort of light sensitivity issue?
I have not.
Senator
Yes, Madam
Suderline.
Chair. Thank you. I would tell Senator Rome that I have not heard of such a concern.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Did you bring any people who want to speak in support of the bill?
I don't think I've seen any of them here.
Okay.
All the folks that talk to me about it are from the greater Roanoke area.
Okay. And yes, Senator Hackworth.
Madam Chair, question for the patron. So does this require them to increase, or they may increase?
Senator
Thank you, Madam
Suderline.
Chair. I would tell Senator Hackworth that they may increase. They may continue to have 2. They may have 1. They may have 3. They may have none. It's their choice.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there anyone here in opposition to the bill? Okay. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Second.
All righty. If you turn on the rolls.
Ayes 15, no 0.
All righty. Congratulations. You have another one. And this next one, if we do report it, would go to finance.
Yes,
Has been
ma'am.
asked by finance for it. Please tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the committee for the previous bill. This next bill is Senate Bill 151. This is one of the rare times that we have an opportunity to reduce the fees that our constituents must pay. It seeks to reduce the fees for issuance of identification cards without photographs, Also authorizes the Department of Motor Vehicles to negotiate with the Department of Health to retain a portion of the $12 fee for each copy of a vital record that the DMV issues in lieu of collecting the $2 processing fee required by current law, and also removes fees specific to transportation network companies. Those are, I think we're all familiar with those, certificates issued by DMV, and provides that such companies are subject to the same fees that apply to all applicants for original licenses, permits, and certificates, transfers of licenses or certificates. And this concept came to me from the Department of Motor Vehicles to ask for this legislation. And I believe that they would like to speak. Madam Chair?
Thank you. If there are questions from the members, then please bring your folks who are speaking in support before us.
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, Linda Ford, DMV Deputy Commissioner for Operations. As it's already been explained, this is a bill to eliminate some fees that we think are no longer needed, or that we don't need them at the same level that we have. I'd be happy to answer any specific questions folks have.
Senator Rome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, question for the witness. I would ask the witness in this case. I think it's like what, the Mennonites don't do this, the photograph for the ID. Is there any other group that's included in that?
Yeah, it's largely the old school, old order. Thank you, Mennonites. Yes, it has not been used extensively. We've got about 50 of these in operation right now, or in use right now.
Gotcha. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any other questions? Thank you for your remarks. Second? Do I have your second? All righty. All in favor to report and refer to finance, please indicate your preference on the board. All righty.
Ayes 14, no 0.
All righty, congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you,
together. Next, we have Senator Diggs. Is he? Yes. You want to come up to the, you want to stay where you are or go? Either way, it's your preference.
Madam Chair, we have a bill before you today that kind of brings us into contemporary times. That allows the various tolling companies to notify people of their overages by currently by certified mail. Since this code was initially enacted, there are many more types of trackable mail that would meet the needs to proceed further to go to court. And I might say, and they're much cheaper, which the costs are eventually passed on to the consumer. And I would kind of equate this to a sheriff's deputy serving civil process. There's many alternate kinds of service that you can post on a door. There's personal service, service to a family member, service to a business, and probably some other services I've forgotten about. But this kind of just brings us into an alternate method of notifying people that they owe some tolls. And I believe there's someone to speak to this.
If there are any questions of the patron before we have you all speak, does anyone? Senator Hackworth.
Yes, Madam Chair. Question for the patron.
Yes, sir.
So if I understand this right, Senator, if I go through a toll and I don't pay it, okay, and then they can send that to me, now it has to be certified, is that correct? And what you're seeking to do is to have that towards maybe a digital or something like that. Is that correct?
Senator Diggs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's various means. There's priority mail. There's first-class mail that's trackable now. FedEx and UPS also offer alternative means of delivering notices.
And a follow-up question, Madam Chair.
Senator Hackworth.
And so I guess current law also is if those are not paid within a reasonable time, there is a stop put on the registration. Is that correct?
Senator Diggs.
Madam Chair, yes, there is a process to do that, and there is also a process to appeal that. I think the gentleman who can speak better to that, the process, than I can.
Thank you.
I'll hold
Senator?
further questions until we hear from the gentleman.
Thank you, Senator Hackworth. There are people in the audience who would like to speak in support of the bill. Please come forward.
Chair, members of the committee, thank you for hearing the bill today. Addison Smith, I'm here on behalf of United Bridge Partners. We own the South Norfolk Jordan Bridge. As the Senator has mentioned, we have to use trackable mail now, and there's many other options that we can use, including options with the USPS that has trackable mail, which is less expensive. Ultimately, these savings will go to the customers that use the bridge. So we fully support this bridge or this bill, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Are there questions from the
Yes,
Senator Hackworth?
So help me walk through the process, because I have went through it, traveled extensively, and had, say if you borrow your neighbor's trailer, and that is the license plate that is tracked, and that invoice goes to, would the invoice go to them, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's say that they're like, well, I don't, throw it away or something like that. So that they would get a stop on the registration that it is tracked, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if they go back and say, okay, we figured out what happened, is there interest, is there penalties if it's not paid within a certain amount of time, or is it just a fee, you have to pay that before you can get the restoration?
I would have to refer back to my colleagues on everything that's more
Please
technical.
address through the
I'm
chair.
sorry,
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Yes, I'd have to refer back to my colleagues on anything very technical on that. But in general, we work with the person who owes the fee to make sure that it's paid.
Sure. No further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Are there further questions? Or do we have anybody else in the audience who wanted to speak?
Madam Chair, Dave Westcott on behalf of City of Chesapeake, who we have quite a lot of bridges in Chesapeake. We support the bill.
Thank you. Anyone opposing the bill? All righty.
Move to report, Madam Chair.
Anyone?
Second.
All righty. Hearing a motion to report. And this will have to go to, this has to go to Finance if,
All right,
yes,
move
so
to
it's
report
report
and
and
refer to
refer.
Finance. Madam
Great,
Chair.
thank you. Clerk, open the rolls, please.
Ayes 15, no 0.
All righty, thank you so much. Okay, we have only one bill left, and it's mine. I'm just going to trade places with Senator Rome.
I want to use that one.
Sure.
All right, up next is Madam Chair with SB 158.
Thank you so much, Senator. 158 is a cleanup bill for the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority Board, which I am a member of. It is a small technical amendment that makes it clear that the Authority Board as a group appoints 6 members of the Technical Advisory Committee. The chairman of the Commonwealth Transportation Board still makes 3 appointments. Legal counsel for the authority felt the existing language was not clear and that the authority appoints the 6-member as a group. The Technical Advisory Committee is statutorily required to have this committee, and it is an important part of the NVTA planning, project development, and funding strategy. I have Tracy Baynard here who can answer any questions. She's here to support it and take questions, and I ask that you pass the bill.
Thank you, Senator Boysko. Do we have any questions for the patron from anyone on the committee? No, if that's not the case, then please present your witness.
I'm Tracy Baynard with McGuire Woods Consulting, representing the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. I thank the chair for carrying our legislation and serving with us. I thank Senator Rome for being a former member of the authority. Here to answer any questions. We are one of 3 statutory regional transportation funding entities in the Commonwealth.
Thank you. Does anyone have a question for the witness? Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would this still require some kind of regional balance between the members? If it's not going to be done by the localities, it's going to be done by the board. If they, took 4 out of the 6 people from one county and left some county out, how does that work?
Madam Chair, Senator Marsden, good question. The history with this appointment has been by the total board as a whole. All of the members will nominate candidates, and there's never been a problem. We like to have regional dispersion and a broad set of technicals. So the members support this bill. We brought it to our board. They were very happy to move it forward to clarify it on behalf of the General Counsel. So we don't anticipate any conflicts at all.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And what I would also add to that is that if there was ever any favoritism or something that ended up happening, I would personally carry the bill to make it much more severe. So we are going to entrust the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority to continue in doing its job. All right. In that case, then I believe Senator has a motion.
Second.
All right. There's been a motion properly seconded to report SB 158, and because this does not need to be referred to Finance, the clerk will open the roll.
I'm having trouble with my.
Oh, got it.
Did you get me? Okay, thank you.
The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill passes.
All righty. Thank you all for joining us. We are done with our work, and I appreciate that.
The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.